This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 675. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Madame Rutabaga, Valentino, Bison Bentley, plus part 2 of my interview with singer-songwriter Jiggly Jones. And we'll find out about how to boost your creativity. It may be as simple as putting your shoes on. Mike's Daily Podcast. And yesterday's show had some interesting things that went horribly wrong. Mike's Daily Podcast. We found out yesterday that Valentino and Bison Bentley have had a change of heart. They've decided with Chris Christie they're going to part because they used to be big Chris Christie fans and now they're not. They're going with a blend of Ted Cruz and Rand Paul. He's hot. They're going for, what do they call it? Rand Cruiser. Mike's Daily Podcast. A completely made-up politician that is an amalgam of two politicians. Mike's, which sounds to me Daily like the very definition podcast of hell. Yeah! So nobody, I don't mean to vent here at the beginning of the show, at the top of the show. I'm venting a tad. But I will do this very quickly. I just want to say that I don't understand why a lot of my Facebook friends, they'll post something like, gee, my hair's long. Or, I can't believe the sky's blue. Or, dogs have hair on their... I guess I'm obsessed with hair. I brought up 2 examples that had hair in it. Anyway, something mundane, something that doesn't really say anything, and they get 1 million likes, 1 million comments, all this stuff. It seems anything I post, nothing. It sounds like this. Well, Mike, maybe you should post something more interesting and funny and something that people can relate to. That the sky is blue? Okay, I guess the sky is blue. People can relate to that, and they like it when it's not cloudy. Okay, maybe I just need to get into other people's brains. That's what I need to do. And then kind of stomp around in there on the weird gray matter. Try not to get my shoes stuck in the ooze. And maybe I'm thinking a little too much about this. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that my ex-wife used to comment to me about how often I took pictures whenever we took a trip. Why are you taking so many pictures? Oh my gosh, you're taking so many pictures is actually kind of how that sentence went. And I am a shutterbug. But, and I thought, okay, you're right, maybe I need to cut down. But now I say no. Now I say nay to that because I have today gone back and looked at pictures from a trip that she and I took back in 2007. And we had a digital camera, and I'm looking through those on the computer. And, you know, this is since the digital age, of course, cameras, pictures don't fade, right, with time. And so you're seeing these pictures as clear as the moment you took them. And I just was like, wow, that was a really great trip. And that was a really neat place. And I haven't gone back to that place, and it was so cool. And since then, that place got swept with the oil from the BP disaster. And all kinds of things have happened in my life. But was something that really triggered it was I took a picture of the room. Yeah, I do take a picture of anything. She was right. But I did take a picture of the room because we rented a room in one of those rent-by-owner places that, you know, you can get a special deal sometimes. And so this was like actually somebody's condo that we were renting. And I took a picture of the coffee table and the room, actually. But on the coffee table was a set of keys. And they were my keys. And I looked at the keys. And one of the keys I realized was the key to my office at the radio station that I worked at in Alabama. And I thought, you know what? With that picture, I can take that key, recreate it, make a 3D, because of the 3D thing now, and I can get into my office again. And then I thought, oh, that's why we have the NSA, because of crazies like me. No, actually, I did see that key, and I thought to myself, wow, yeah, that was the key I used for my office at work, where I was let go unceremoniously in a very sort of kick in the pants way after all the work I did for them. And no, oh, I'm still ranting. Okay, let's wrap it up. It just brought back memories. Just that photo and seeing that damn key. Ugh. But we should dwell on happy things. Like this person who just walked in.
Mike Matthews, you said that Madam Rudabega was going to be here, but it's actually me, Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor.
Yes, it is. And your retainer, how is it doing?
Fine. How's your bald head?
Fine. And yeah, I was just thinking back to that job I had in Alabama.
Mike Matthews, you sounded like you were full of rage.
I'm not. I'm just memories, right? And these digital clear pictures from your past, they really spark the memories, don't they?
Yeah, I guess so. Whatever.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it'd be a lot more interesting, like, if you could actually be there. Like, if you could actually transport and teleport yourself there, or, like, have special, like, 3D quality. So, like, when you saw those pictures, it would actually be like you were there.
Oh, right. You're getting all sci-fi on me.
It isn't sci-fi. John Deere the engineer and Floyd the Floorman made one.
What? That's impossible. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman.
And this is John Deere the engineer. Mike, I haven't read your Facebook posts lately, and I feel guilty now.
Don't worry about it. I was just venting.
Yes, well, we have created this 3D photo thing where you can actually go into that photo of that coffee table with your key from the office in it, and you can pick up that key and do whatever you want with it.
Really, let's take a look at this thing. So go ahead and turn on your machine, however that works.
Don't tell me what to do.
Once again, out of habit, after you.
Yes, okay. I'm turning it on now.
Wow, sparks, electricity everywhere, and that picture is coming to life. Wow, we're actually walking into the picture, and I'm picking up the keys, and oh my gosh, they've turned into live snakes! Turn it off, John Deere, turn it off!
Don't tell me what to do.
Please, they're all around my neck now.
Okay, if you insist.
They're disappeared now, thankfully. Wow, snakes. I hate snakes. Actually, I find snakes fascinating. You know, the way they live and eat things and then digest them and then excrete them. Oh, so fascinating, snakes. I'm just glad I wasn't the one that was being excreted.
Mike Matthews, you should post that on Facebook. I bet you'll get a lot of comments.
I bet I will. So this was interesting that they found that people who rely on walks to overcome writer's block or solve a tricky problem have it right. New research shows that walking, whether indoors or outdoors, can encourage a creative thought. Creative thought can be encouraged through doing this. Researchers at Stanford University's Graduate School of Education conducted experiments on 176 people and found that participants who walked rather than sat or were being pushed in a wheelchair gave more creative responses on tests used to measure creative thinking. Previous research had shown that regular aerobic exercise had a positive effect on cognitive ability, but this study suggests that walking can have a very temporary effect on certain kinds of thinking. The researchers explain their decision to focus on walking rather than more strenuous exercise as, quote, asking someone to take a 30-minute run to improve creativity at work would be an unpopular prescription for many people. We wanted to see if a simple walk might lead to more free-flowing thoughts and more creativity, according to ctvnews.ca. In one test, researchers named an object, then asked a subgroup of 48 students to think of alternative ways to use it. So, button might lead a student to say, as a doorknob on a dollhouse. I would have flunked this test already. This is just, they would have been uncreative, eject, don't read his posts. Of the students tested while walking, 100% came up with more creative ideas. Yes, 100% in one experiment, while the other experiments saw 95%, 88% and 81% of the walkers come up with more creative responses than if they were just sitting. Whether indoors or outdoors, the walkers had more creative responses. Interestingly, when asked to solve problems with a single answer, walkers scored slightly lower than sitters. What?
Yes, Mike, I can solve a problem with a single answer better if I'm sitting down.
Mike, I can do it better if I'm in a downward dog position. Excellent. Well, what do you think about this research? Do you agree with it, that you come up with better ideas when you're walking? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. Or do you think that Stanford should have all their money taken away because this was a ridiculous study? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section Emails from Email. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. Hey, we got a radio station on the internet. You can find the link to where to listen to that at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. There's also the player, the radio station player is there on the left-hand side of the page. Click on that. You can listen to shows mixed with great music, and it plays all day and all night. There's also a link to where to find us on iTunes. We got a Facebook page. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a show, share it with your friends so more people find out about us. There's the Twitter, Tumblr, Yelp, Mixcloud, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We've also got the Amazon deal of the day. Click on that and buy something, and that helps us out a lot. You'll get a great discount on whatever you're buying. And there's the blog and the daily podcast picture, too, at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Into an interview.
It's Jiggly Jones we're talking to. Jiggly, we spoke to him, I think, last year, maybe. I think that was something.
Last spring sometime. I remember specifically where I was when I was talking to you, too.
Where were you?
I was sitting in my car watching my youngest daughter's softball practice.
That's right. Because it was cold. Really cold.
And I'm a sissy when it comes to that, so...
Is the weather any better this year?
Sometimes. It was a crazy winter back east, and it carried into spring, and it's up and down. So one day it's 70, the next day it's 50. So
you're not in a car today.
Nope.
We're speaking via Skype, and the camera disappeared, so I don't know. It looked like you were in your office or something.
Yeah, it's going to come up. There it is. See?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is my nucleus here. So.
That's a nice nucleus.
Yeah, it's nice. My wife made it nice. I certainly wouldn't have made it that way, but
they're good at that.
Nice oak desk right here, and
yeah. Oh, you can get the organic magic from the oak desk.
Yep, I got all my books back there behind me.
And are any of those rhyming dictionaries?
Nah, you know what? Most of them are Civil War books. I'm a big Civil War buff, so there's probably a couple grand worth of Civil War books back behind me there.
If I wanted to start my Civil War fascination, what book would you suggest I start with?
Oh, wow. There's a lot of them that cover the whole war that are more for the layman or whatever.
I'm a layman.
You know, there's a million of them. I could. You probably want to start with the very beginning of the war, which would be the Battle of Bull Run. So I have a book about that. I can't remember who wrote it, but
okay. Oh, and what's that Scott shirt back there?
That's my daughter's track shirt. That's the name of her school, Scott Middle School. So
is this the same one that was playing softball last time?
I think it was my other daughter. This one here is a 7th grader. The other one's a 4th grader. So,
okay.
This one runs track for the school, and the other one plays softball in the local, the local community team or whatever.
They're very active.
Yes, way too active. I'm running around a lot
because it makes you active when they're active.
Right.
And is your goatee at its longest point right now?
I usually keep it right about there. Every once in a while it goes a little shorter, but not too much longer than that. So
wow, I've never been able to grow my goatee that long.
It takes a while.
That's an inspiration right there. And what does it get caught on anything?
My son likes to pull on it a lot. It gets caught on his hand as he's pulling the thing. I keep telling him, "Don't pull, that hurts," But he's only 3, so.
It's stretching your dad's face out.
Right.
It's giving him a face stretch.
You know, he's never seen me without it. So he was born, I had it, and still he's 3 now. So it will be fun when I finally cut it off. The look on his face, I can't wait for that one.
Well, it looks great, Jiggly. And let's play Nothing So Natural. Can you tell me about this one?
That song went through a whole bunch of changes over the years. It's not a new one, but it's redone. It's never been released. I changed the lyrics on it. It was once about something different. I can't even remember what, but I actually changed the lyrics, and it's about my daughters. And once again, here I am saying I usually generalize, but this one's another specific song. I had written a song about my son, or based off of my son, on the last record called Baby Blue. So I figured, maybe it'd be nice to release one about the girls. And, it's just for people who have daughters and just understanding the difference between girls and boys, even when they're little like that. It's amazing that it's like night and day, just from the day they're really small. They're different. They're just, it's so neat. It's just natural, and your love for your kids is probably the most natural thing you'll ever do in your life. So it's pretty much that.
Beautiful. All right, well, let's play it. And this is from Jiggly Jones' album, A Mountain, A Struggle, A Tunnel, A Light. And it comes out May 6th. And find out more at jigglyjones.com. It's Nothing So Natural on Mike's Daily Podcast. Nothing so natural and Jiggly Jones. We'll have the finale of our Into an Interview tomorrow as we go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture is not of that coffee table with my key from the old job. No, it is actually of a recent picture. Another one of Half Moon Bay, but this time it was cool. It was kind of a neat photo of Basil the Boxer and I. What? I thought you liked that picture of yours. No? I'm going to post it anyway. Okay, thanks. So, yeah, it's a photo of him and I, and there's a cool sunset going on behind us, and you can see that picture at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-MUsic-4-26-14. Another photo that I am glad I took. I'm not a fancy... You know what? I'm an amateur photographer. I will never buy one of those nice, high-tech, big lens Nikon whatevers. I'm all about ease. I'm all about, can that camera fit in my pocket? That's why I love cell phones with good cameras on them, which my cell phone doesn't. But and I discovered one of the reasons why it didn't take good pictures was because I had this plastic film over the lens that I didn't know was there because I'm a technological dork. But once I removed that, the photos increased by about 0.5% in quality. No, I love taking the amateur, little camera now can take awesome pictures. So just a little pocket camera and I'm good to go. And I love it. That's the extent. If you call me a photographer, then I am. If you call me a technological dork who takes pictures, I'll accept that as well. MikesDailyPodcast.com to see that picture.
Mike Matthews, how come that post you did on Facebook about how you don't want to be excreted out of a snake, how come that's at the top of my news feed? It's been on the top of my news feed all day. Why?
I don't know. That's annoying. When somebody's post gets at the top of your news feed, no matter how many times you get onto Facebook. Have you had this happen? This happened to me. And I told the guy whose post it was, I said, how much money did you pay Facebook to get this at the top of my news feed? All he was saying was that he liked the new Fargo and he likes that Amy Schumer. And yeah, great stuff, but why is this at the top of my news feed all the time? I don't get it. Mike, you need to calm down. Relax. Do a downward dog position. With me. Oh, no, that's okay. Thanks for the invitation. Tomorrow, I'll have the finale of my Into an Interview with Jiggly Jones. Plus, we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. And yes, I'm sorry I promoted Madame Rutabaga, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. I meant that was from yesterday's show. I got all confused. So you guys were on the show today. Chely, Floyd, and John, dear.
Yes, Mike. We noticed.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Don't tell me what to do.